This podcast is part of the Pull Up a Chair podcast network. Let's build community through connection, conversation, and collaboration. This podcast is sponsored by Lever Consulting, editing with a purpose. Check them out at leverconsulting.com for a free consultation.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm V.
And you're listening to Cringe With Me, the podcast where we dig up the cringiest articles, questions, and tidbits of human culture to review with you, our listeners, so you too can cringe with me.
I'm hypocritical, but at least I know we could be beautiful or maybe terrible.
Okay, so guys, it is the beginning of June, which means that May is over.
It's getting hot.
And it's time to figure out who won this month.
Yes.
As always, vote on Twitter, and we'll announce the winners there, and we might start announcing them on Instagram too, because I'm lazy when it comes to social media. Anyways.
What's your vote? Who do you think had the cringiest?
Well, let's do a quick review first. So, on May the 4th be with you, it was by you.
Yes,
yeah,
the Too Old for the Kids table, Too Young for the Adult Room.
Mm-hmm. And then the following week, which was the week of the 11th, I did asking for a not friend with cancer.
Yes.
Ryan isn't really my friend. Oh my gosh. And then the following week was yours.
Yes, disappointing mothers and social commentary. That was when we went a little off the rails.
We went really off the rails. We went sideways. And then the last week was mine, wife or friends, who do you want to marry?
Yeah.
That was a Am I the Asshole? Where he was definitely the ass.
Yes.
With the giant hole.
Decidedly.
Big old spreaded cheeks. Who do you think won this time?
This month has got to be yours. That last one, it's just everything about his post was so upsetting, and all of his responses to the commenters were upsetting. Like, this guy just has no concern for his fiance's emotional well-being, and it was cringy. It
was pretty cringy. I hate to say that I kind of liked yours better, the disappointing mothers and social commentary, because of how circular off topic we got. It turned into us going spiraling talking.
Yeah.
And offshooted a bunch of YouTube videos that I think have already posted before that episode even went live, where we promote it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so it's just, I hate it. I hate that I think that you won.
So here's the thing. I think that was my favorite episode that we've recorded so far. I don't think it's the cringiest. That's the difference.
Yeah.
If this was a contest of what was our best episode, I think it's the one where it went off the rails.
Yeah.
But if it's what's the cringiest, it's gotta be yours.
Now, you don't think the one where the person didn't want to admit that they're not friends, or that they don't even like the dying person of cancer? Because that's cringy too.
I didn't find that one cringy. I found that way too relatable.
You found that too relatable? That's cringy.
That's very relatable.
Cringy.
No. Okay. I think a lot of people have been in situations where someone thinks they are friends, and they're like, "We're not really friends. I'm not really that into you, but I also want to be polite and kind. And just how do I navigate that? That's a normal human social thing." Yeah. See.
Yeah. Well, okay. It's actually up to you guys.
Yeah.
We said our piece. Go vote online and keep an eye out for the announcements of the actual winners. But without any further ado, it's your turn, Ryan.
We've got a new cringe. I have another Am I the Asshole? This one is fun because this one has an update. So I'm going to give you the kind of original post. We can talk about it, and then I can give you the update and see if that changes things. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one.
I'm excited.
All right, so the title of this one is, Am I the Asshole for not giving my sports cards back to my dad after he found out how much they're worth?
Oh, no.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. I, 19 male, was gifted my dad's sports card collection for my 18th birthday. He had boxes of them from when he was growing up. I started looking into how you could get them graded. I finally shipped the best ones out for a few months ago, and just got them back last week. I was happy to see how highly some of them were graded. I researched what these cards would go for, and my jaw dropped. This money would help me pay for college, and I would still have a decent amount left over. I was visiting my parents, and my dad mentioned something about those cards. I made the mistake of saying how much some of these cards are worth. He didn't have much of a reaction that night. The next day, I get a long text from my dad saying that he gave it some thought and wanted his cards back. The money would help him and my mom pay for their dream vacation. I thought it was a joke, but he was serious. I told him sorry, but they were a gift and I intended on using this money for college.
Oh, that's a sweet idea.
Since then, I've been getting hurtful texts from my parents telling me how selfish I am. They said I'm an asshole for wanting to sell these cards because they were a gift, even though they would do the same if I gave them back. I planned on getting my dad a cool gift for his birthday with some of my money, but I'm starting to think he doesn't deserve anything at all. Am I the asshole?
No. No, it was a gift. And, okay, I don't get how you don't know that old shit's worth a lot. Even if it's not something as, like, fancy as baseball cards, anything vintage is so expensive.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely silly to not have assumed they might be worth money. And if you gave them away without even bothering to check, that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
Though I will say there is an interesting aspect to this, which is that this person's 19.
Yes.
These were given to him for his 18th birthday.
So it's like a year later.
Yeah. It's not like these were given to you a long time ago and now you're cashing on it. Like, these were given to you and you basically turned around immediately and were like, can I sell these? Right? So there is some aspect of this. It's like, oh, you were given this gift of this old thing and you're like, oh, I wonder if I can sell these. I don't think that's terrible in itself, but it's not like the gift has any nostalgia for you at this point. Like, you are just kind of looking to make a buck off of them, which is fine.
A gift is a gift is a gift.
Right. So it has an update.
Okay, I'm excited for this.
Let's read the update. I didn't want to lose my relationship with my parents over this, so I decided to compromise. My idea was to keep the cards and handle the sales myself. However, I would communicate each sale with my parents and come up with a fair split to pay for college and their vacation. I told my parents we could meet up on Monday and discuss the situation.
That's sweet, I guess.
Right, that's a pretty reasonable, like, oh, okay, you want the money for vacation, I want the money for college, why don't we split it, right? Unfortunately, they continued to harass me over the days leading up to our talk. Apparently, having to work on Mother's Day was just an excuse by me to avoid talking to them about the cards. By the time we met, I was pretty tired of their shit. I could be the asshole for this, but I decided to test them. I lied and told them they could have the cards if they paid me back for the cost of getting them graded. When I told them the price, they didn't believe me. I was accused of lying to get more money out of this. I realized it wasn't worth proving it. They wanted everything and there was no compromise to be made. I told them not to contact me and that I'd only be around to see my brother and go to other family events. So that's how it went. Glad they care about the money more than me. I've been trying to keep it together, but it's been hard. Thankfully, my girlfriend has been around to comfort me. She's the best. Maybe I'll use some of the extra money on a vacation for us. Haven't heard anything from other family yet, so I don't know how this is all going to play out. Guess all I can do now is work on getting these cards sold and hope for the best.
Man. The baseball card that broke Campbell's back, am I right?
Yeah,
It sounds like this has just ruined the family dynamic.
Well, it sounds like it reminds me of stories about when people win the lottery, right?
Yes,
How it like tears apart families because suddenly everyone comes asking you for money and they get resentful or bitter when you don't give them what they think they deserve or whatever.
And it's like, oh, all of a sudden I'm entitled to your money.
Right.
Especially with the lotto thing, because it's like, no, it's the person who did the deed.
Right. And in this case, realistically, this money wouldn't have existed if this person hadn't gone through the process, right? If the father hadn't gifted them the cards, they'd probably be sitting in a basement somewhere just collecting dust and being not worth nothing.
Exactly.
Sense, right?
Like, it's not money until you get the money.
Right. And so the fact that this person, he was even willing to compromise and be like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. Like, these were yours. You gifted them to me. Let's make a thing, split it so that I can pay for college, which is important. And also you can go on your vacation, which is great. And the fact that the family was so difficult and like, I don't know, bitter and possessive about this just shows that they really were prioritizing that money over maintaining the relationship with their child, which is pretty awful.
Okay, and then on top of that, like, this kid is under 20, right?
Mhm.
Like, he's young. I don't feel like should be considered an adult, but that's neither here nor there. Their kid has a chance at college because of baseball cards. Shouldn't they be excited? Like, oh my god, my kid might not have to take on a lifetime's worth of debt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially in this day and age when student debt is such a mounting problem for so many young people. To look at this, like, a lot of parents, if they have the money, will put aside money as a college fund for their kids, right? That's a common practice.
They found a college fund. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It turns out your college fund was just sitting in a cardboard box in your basement, but there it is.
That's so exciting. They should be like, awesome, great. Your gift was college. You just have to do a little bit of extra work to sell these cards.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, kid.
Yeah, but instead they're like, oh, wow, we found a bunch of money. That's our money. We're not giving any of that.
Oh my god, and they're wanting
college. We're not going to support you.
Give it for a vacation.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my god, we could pay off our mortgage.
Right.
Or our own student debt. Or
that would be a very different situation.
Yeah,
If the parents can come back and be like, oh, wow, we need that money because we're broke or in debt because of things. That would be a pretty reasonable argument.
or their own retirement even. I could see that being a reasonable thing.
But, oh no, we're going to use that money to take our dream vacation. So we're going to take a dream vacation instead of helping you not be in debt over college is pretty rough, I think.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, you're right. Or whoever's going to say it, because somebody's going to say it. The parents don't owe their kid an education, but I feel like it is the ethical and loving parent thing to do to want your kid to have a good, bright future. Not that college guarantees it, but it's definitely a factor that can help.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at the very least, a split would have been a pretty decent arrangement, right?
Yeah.
A finder's fee. You found this money that was in our basement, basically, because you went there for Loomis. Sure, you go sell them. We'll split the money. You can then pay for college. We're going to go on vacation. Everybody's happy, but no.
Look at where their priorities lie.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, is this really what's wrong with their relationship?
Yeah, it does kind of imply there's something else going on. I mean, maybe they're just that petty and selfish, or maybe there's some other aspect to this that, we lack context, as we always do when we're looking at these things.
Yeah, that always sucks. It's these aren't as deep as some Reddit posts where you can look at the person's past post history and really dig into the details of their life. I don't mean to sound like a stalker, but it's true, where it's oh yeah, this one fight with your boyfriend doesn't seem like a lot, but considering the past history, you should dump him.
Yeah.
With this, it's okay, we're seeing one thing, but one thing that any other parent would be oh my god, hooray! Our child's getting an education, and they're we want a vacation.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if there's a history of either the parents or maybe even the child being selfish, right? Maybe this relationship has been skewed to one side and they feel like they deserve this as compensation. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell without that, context. And from the way that OP writes, I don't think, or it doesn't sound all that unreasonable for the child to assume that they're going to their parents are going to be happy for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it might be an r/raised by narcissist situation.
Maybe.
Or we got a master manipulator and OP's a psychopath.
Yeah. That's kind of I feel a weird parallel to this actually would be when I was a kid, we bought Beanie Babies, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was a kid. I didn't pay with my own money. My mom bought me Beanie Babies, right? I had that collection as a kid.
You were aging us.
Yeah, a little bit, but
just so
it's
you're
okay.
aware.
It's okay. So, but I have original Beanie Babies. I've looked it up. Some of them are worth some money, right? I could probably sell them for a few $100, right?
That's not bad.
Now, despite the fact that my mom paid for those, they were my toys, right? They were my childhood gift or whatever.
Yeah.
So if I sell them, is my mom entitled to that money? That feels like a no, but in this case, the parents are feeling like it's a yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. And they were gifted on their 18th birthday, and it was a year later they were wanting them back. Yeah.
Which I admit, that's the thing that gives it context, right? If my mom had bought, let's say, Beanie Babies for herself, she had a collection, and then a year ago was I don't want this collection anymore, here, you can have it. And I looked it up and I'm ooh, I can sell these for a lot of money. And my mom was like, whoa, you could have sold those? I didn't know that. Can I have that money? I think there's an argument there, right? Like, I think there's
it's questionable.
It's questionable, right?
Yeah.
I would probably be like the OP here, where I'd be like, oh, we can split the money, right? You gave these to me. You were just going to you're going to throw them away or whatever. Then, yeah, I think we can split the money because, like, I did the legwork here. But I think my mom may be entitled to some of that money because it was a year ago, but not my childhood gift that I grew up with.
Yeah,
or mine.
I can see the difference in that.
So, like, there's some context for the parents wanting a cut, but
the whole cut.
Yeah, that feels selfish.
Yeah, especially since OP had to, like, go find somebody to appraise them, and that can be pricey.
Yeah, getting things graded is actually pretty expensive. As someone who collects cards of various kinds, like, I know that grading can be...
Oh my god, have you ever graded something?
I have not gone through the process. I just have looked at it, and so I know it can be expensive. I just haven't done it myself.
Oh.
Because I haven't had anything where I felt like it was valuable enough to be worth grading it.
Oh, recently my husband he found his collection of childhood Pokemon cards. And it's like, you know when you like buy a big pair of boots, one of those shoe boxes? He has one of those full of them, and some of them aren't even in English from the first print and are holographic.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are probably worth some money.
Yeah. And so we looked at it, and I found a Togepi one. I was like, oh my god, it's Togepi. So we were thinking about getting them looked at, but I can guarantee you his parents aren't going to ask anything. They just wanted us to take the box out of their closet.
Yeah,
They're just like, here, take your shit out of our house. We want our closet space back.
Yeah, agreed. Well, my vote, not the asshole.
No, not at all. Like, there's questions on either side, but the parents are being jerks. I personally think that they shouldn't be asking for it, but it doesn't make them assholes to ask.
Yeah.
Their reasoning is questionable. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe when we post this episode, listeners, you can respond with your own arguments about whether or not this person is the asshole.
Oh, yeah, we want to hear from you because, you know, we're just two people in the girl dungeon.
Yeah.
What do we know?
Yeah, maybe we're wrong.
Yeah.
Probably not, though.
All right, we'll see you guys next week where I have a post to end all posts.
Oh, man.
I hope. Maybe I'm selling myself too much.
Better than selling yourself short.
All right, bye, guys.
All right, well, I'm Ryan, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Build Right Roll, where I post about my professional Dungeon Master experiences. You can check out the links in the description if you're interested in hiring a professional DM or looking to level up your own DM skills.
And you can find me, V, at Cringe Queen at Instagram and Twitter, or check me out on YouTube as the Queen of Cringe, and be embarrassed with me.
All right, well, thanks for listening and cringing along with us.
And we'll catch you next time with more awesome cringe content.
I'm hypocritical, but at least I know we could be beautiful or maybe terrible. Only one way to know. Only one way to know.
Hello, I am Patrick,
And I'm Andrew. And I'm Christian.
And I'm Allie.
and we are Rad Theater, a podcast where a bunch of friends play role-playing games and share a single brain cell, and the GM doesn't always have it. Oh, and it's theater spelled the correct way, Theatre.